good evening. As the soft twilight deepens around us, I invite you now to let the world outside begin to quiet. Let its busy hum, its insistent demands, and its endless stream of thoughts gently recede, like distant echoes fading into the night. You've carried so much today, haven't you? So many thoughts swirling, so many tasks to manage, so many emotions, both bright and muted, to process. Your mind has been a busy highway, traffic moving at various speeds, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, but always in motion. Now, imagine a gentle off-ramp appearing, guiding you away from that ceaseless flow. This moment, right here, right now, is your sanctuary. It's your own private space, carefully carved out of the day, a moment given entirely to yourself, where you are invited to simply exist, to slowly, beautifully drift into a profound and comforting peace. As the evening continues its silent darkening, as the last vestiges of daylight soften into twilight hues of deep blues and purples, we're going to embark on a quiet journey together. We'll travel not through physical landscapes, but through the vast expanse of time, across centuries and cultures, to uncover 5 forgotten traditions of the night. These are not merely historical footnotes. They are whispers from our ancestors, echoes of their wisdom, practices designed not out of fear, but born from a deep, innate need for protection and understanding. Think of it. How did those who came before us, long before the comforting glow of electric lights, long before the security of modern homes, make sense of the encompassing darkness? How did they navigate the primal fear of the unknown that often accompanied the setting sun? These rituals were their answers. They were their way of bringing light, both literal and metaphorical, into the vast, mysterious canvas of night. They were their quiet, resilient acts of courage, transforming the daunting unknown into something knowable, something manageable, something even, dare I say, comforting. As these ancient stories slowly unfold around you like gentle ripples expanding on a still pond, I encourage you to let yourself slow down. Feel the deliberate unhurrying of your own internal clock. Let go of any rush, any tension, any lingering sense of urgency. Allow your breathing to soften, to deepen, to become a quiet, rhythmic lullaby within you. Imagine each inhale bringing in a fresh wave of tranquility, and each exhale releasing any lingering remnants of the day's stresses, any tightness held in your body, any worry clinging to your mind. And as your breath finds its gentle rhythm, feel your body respond in kind. Feel it settling deeper into the surface beneath you, growing heavier, warmer, more profoundly at ease. Imagine yourself sinking just a little into a cloud of calm, each muscle, each fiber, letting go. This is your journey now into a timeless peace, guided by the whispers of those who understood the profound power of the night. Story 1: The Fire of Samhain, Ancient Celtic Lands. Imagine, if you will, the mists of ancient Ireland and Scotland. Picture rolling hills covered in heather, shrouded in the damp, cool air of late autumn. The light is fading fast, and a chill has begun to creep into the bones of the land. This was the time of Samhain. More than just a harvest festival, Samhain marked a profound transition, the true end of the harvest season, the last bountiful offerings gathered from the earth, and the stark, undeniable beginning of winter. It was a time when the world seemed to hold its breath, poised on the cusp of a great change. But more than that, Samhain was believed to be a liminal night, a night when the veil between this world, the world of the living, and the other world, the realm of spirits and ancestors, was thought to be at its thinnest. It was a moment of profound cosmic connection, a time when the boundaries blurred and echoes from beyond could drift more easily into our reality. In preparation for this powerful night, communities across the Celtic lands would gather, often in designated ancient places, sacred groves, hilltops marked by standing stones, or ancient burial mounds. There was a palpable sense of anticipation, a quiet reverence in the air. As the last sliver of the sun dipped below the horizon, plunging the landscape into twilight, a hush would fall over the assembled people. Then, one by one, a solemn act would begin. Torches, which had provided light and warmth throughout the day's preparations, were slowly, ceremoniously extinguished. Fires crackling and hearths back in the homes were allowed to die down, leaving only glowing embers, or sometimes even allowed to go completely out. The world, for a brief, potent moment, surrendered to the natural darkness. And then, from a central, sacred hill, often one known for its ancient power, its connection to the earth's deep currents, a new light would spark. Perhaps it was kindled by the friction of wood, or caught from a flint, or ignited by a specially prepared flame kept pure throughout the year. This was the Samhain fire, a beacon rising against the encroaching darkness, its first fragile tendrils of smoke reaching towards the vast star-pricked sky. This wasn't just any fire. This was the collective heart of the community, rekindled. As its flames grew, casting dancing shadows on the faces of the gathered people, a sense of quiet reassurance would spread through the crowd. This fire represented life, continuity, and protection against the unknown forces that might stir on this night. Once the Samhain fire was burning bright and strong, a new ritual would commence, one that brought this potent energy directly into every home. Families would approach the great communal blaze, each carrying a small vessel, a lantern, or even just a specially prepared piece of wood. From that central, sacred flame, they would carefully, reverently take glowing embers. These weren't just coals, they were pieces of the communal spirit, fragments of the protective light, charged with the ancient power of the Samhain fire. They would carry these precious embers back to their own hearths, back to their homes, moving slowly through the deepening darkness. Imagine the soft, rhythmic glow of dozens, perhaps hundreds of small, moving lights, winding their way through the hills, each one a testament to hope and connection. Once home, these embers were used to rekindle their own household fires, breathing new life into the hearth that warmed their dwelling, cooked their food, and served as the very soul of their domestic space. This act was steeped in profound belief that the sacred flame brought from the communal fire would protect their homes. It was a barrier, a shield against any spirits that might wander between realms on this thinnest of nights, spirits who might be benevolent ancestors seeking comfort or mischievous entities looking to cause trouble. The fire, roaring anew in the hearth, was a powerful symbol of safety, warmth, and the enduring strength of the living. As you breathe in deeply now, imagine you can smell the rich, earthy scent of peat smoke, mingling with the crisp, cool air of the ancient night. Feel the gentle hush of people huddled close, their breathing synchronized with the quiet crackle of the flames, their eyes reflecting the shimmering light. Picture the slow, mesmerizing dance of firelight on ancient stones, the shadows stretching and receding, creating a primal, soothing rhythm. This wasn't merely a quaint custom, a ritual observed out of habit. It was a profound act of reassurance. In a world where the boundaries between known and unknown were far more permeable, where the forces of nature and spirit held immense power, this fire was a quiet, potent reminder, a silent, glowing promise that even in the deepest, most encompassing darkness, you are never truly alone. The community is there, the ancestors are remembered, and the light, however fragile, endures. Take another slow, deep breath, allowing that image of ancient fire, of communal warmth, of quiet protection to settle deep within you. Relaxation transition 1. Now, with that powerful image of the Samhain fire held gently in your mind, let it slowly, gracefully begin to fade. Not disappear entirely, but simply soften, becoming a warm afterglow, a subtle memory. Inhale slowly, deeply, drawing in a sense of quiet tranquility. Feel the air filling your lungs, expanding your chest, bringing a gentle coolness to your core. Exhale gently, fully, releasing any lingering tension, any remaining echoes of the day's demands. Imagine those stresses simply dissolving with your breath, floating away like wisps of smoke. As you continue this gentle rhythmic breathing, feel a warmth at your center. It's not a physical heat, but a deep, comforting glow radiating from within your chest. This is your own inner fire, your own spark of life and serenity. Just as those ancient families carried embers from the sacred Samhain fire back to their hearths, you too carry your own ember, your own quiet, resilient glow. It's always there, a source of peace, a beacon of calm, waiting to be acknowledged. Allow its gentle warmth to spread throughout your body now, softening every muscle, relaxing every cell. You are a vessel of quiet light, even in the deepest night. Story 2. All Souls' Night, The Whispering Lamps, Medieval Europe. Let's journey now across the mists of time to a different land and a different tradition, though one born of a similar human impulse, the need to acknowledge and honor those who have passed. Imagine a cold, crisp November eve in a small, bustling medieval European village. The days have grown short, the air bites with a keen chill, and the warmth of summer feels like a distant memory. As darkness begins to fall, a solemn sound echoes across the cobbled streets and thatched roofs, the slow, deliberate tolling of bells from the village church. Not joyful peals, but deep, sonorous chimes, each note resonating with a profound sense of remembrance. This was All Souls' Night, a time set aside across medieval Europe when the living consciously, collectively honored and remembered the dead. It was a night when the veil, much like at Samhain, was believed to be thin, allowing for a unique communion between worlds. In every home, families would engage in a simple yet deeply moving ritual. They would light small lamps. These weren't grand, elaborate fixtures, but humble oil lamps, perhaps a dish of oil with a floating wick, or a small enclosed lantern with a flickering flame. With gentle hands, they would place these tiny beacons of light in their windows, or sometimes carefully set them along the paths leading to their homes, or even out into the quiet stillness of the garden. The belief behind this act was tender and profound. They believed that on this special night, the souls of their departed loved ones might be passing by. Perhaps they were returning to visit the places they once knew, or perhaps they were simply journeying through the in-between spaces. And the light from these flickering lamps served a dual purpose. It would help to guide these beloved souls, illuminating their way home, ensuring they found their path back to the warmth of family memory. But just as importantly, it would offer them comfort, a visible sign, a silent message from the living saying, "We remember you. You are not forgotten. You are still loved." Beyond the light, other quiet acts of devotion unfolded. Some villagers would stand by their windows or by the flickering lamps and whisper soft prayers. These weren't formal incantations, but heartfelt murmurings, prayers for peace, for guidance, for remembrance. They might speak the names of those they missed, sharing a quiet moment of connection across the unseen divide. Others, with a simple generosity of spirit, would leave offerings at their doorsteps, a small loaf of bread, perhaps still warm from the oven, and a bowl of fresh, warm milk. These were quiet gifts, left for any passing spirits, a humble act of hospitality extended to those unseen travelers of the night. And so, throughout the long, dark hours of All Souls' Night, the tiny lamps flickered, a constellation of small, resilient lights scattered across the village, each one a testament to enduring love and remembrance. They burned steadily, bravely, through the cold, silent hours. When the first light of dawn began to paint the eastern sky, and the lamps eventually sputtered and died, the villagers awoke with a distinct feeling, a sense of being cleansed, a feeling of peace as if a great weight had been lifted, or a deep connection had been reaffirmed. It didn't truly matter whether anyone had actually visited, or whether a literal connection had been made. The profound power lay not in the physical visitation, but in the act itself, the act of lighting the dark, of extending kindness, of consciously remembering. of taking a moment to honor the cycle of life and death, was in itself enough. It was a cleansing of the heart, a quiet reaffirmation of community and continuity. This tradition reminds us that sometimes the most powerful acts of comfort are the simplest ones, born from a gentle heart and a flicker of light in the darkness. Reflection and breathing too. Can you imagine for a moment that gentle, persistent flicker of a lamp in your own window? Perhaps a soft, warm glow pushing back against the shadows just outside your pane. Let that image settle in your mind's eye. Can you sense the profound kindness, the quiet generosity in the simple act of offering something to the vast, encompassing night? A light, a prayer, a humble offering of food. It's a gesture of care, a reaching out across boundaries seen and unseen. Now take a slow, deep breath, and as you inhale, allow yourself to breathe for someone you love, someone who brings warmth to your heart, whether they are near or far, present or remembered. Hold that feeling of connection, of warmth for a moment, and then exhale slowly, gently, completely. As you release that breath, release any tension, any lingering worries. Feel a sense of profound safety settling over you. In this quiet moment, in this peaceful space, you are safe, you are seen, you are connected. Let that feeling of security wash over you, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Story 3. The Worry Dolls of Guatemala. Let's now journey to a different corner of the world, high in the vibrant, misty hills of Guatemala. Here, a tradition of exquisite tenderness and profound psychological wisdom began many, many generations ago. It was in these very hills that mothers, with their innate understanding of a child's delicate inner world, started crafting tiny dolls for their children. These weren't dolls for play, not in the typical sense. They were something far more sacred, far more intimate. Each doll was meticulously made, often from scraps of colorful fabric, bits of wire or wood, and thread no bigger than a child's thumb. They were dressed in traditional Mayan clothing, miniature representations of the people who created them, infused with the gentle spirit of their culture. The ritual was simple, yet incredibly powerful. Each night, as bedtime approached, if a child had a worry, a fear, a sadness, a question that churned in their small mind, they would take out one of these tiny dolls. The magic began as they held the doll in their palm, its small form a tangible presence against the vastness of their worries. The child would then whisper their worry to the doll, just one worry, a single specific concern confided softly, intimately into the miniature ear of the doll. It might be about a test at school, a disagreement with a friend, a fear of the dark, or a lingering sense of unease. Whatever it was spoken aloud, given form and voice. Once the worry was whispered, the child would carefully place the tiny doll beneath their pillow, nestled in the soft folds of the fabric, a secret keeper for the night. And then they would drift off to sleep, knowing, truly believing, that the doll was now carrying their burden. The next morning, when the sun streamed through their window, the child would awaken, and the worry, quite remarkably, was gone. Not forgotten, perhaps, but certainly released. The heavy weight that had rested in their mind the night before had somehow lifted. These beautiful creations were called muñecas quitapenas in Spanish, which literally translates to dolls that take away sorrows, or, as we know them, worry dolls. The legend, often tied to a Mayan princess named Ixmucain, who received a gift from the sun god to solve human problems, imbued these dolls with a profound sense of agency. They absorbed fears, anxieties, and all the small nagging worries that could keep a child awake. They took on the burden, allowing the child to sleep peacefully, truly letting go of what troubled them. What's fascinating is how this tradition has endured. Even today, in Guatemala and beyond, adults often keep worry dolls. They might not consciously believe in their magical properties, not in the literal sense, but they understand, deeply, intuitively, that the dolls serve a crucial purpose. They create a ritual of release, a tangible, mindful way to externalize a worry, to give it form outside of oneself. It's an act of conscious surrender. By whispering the worry to the doll, by placing it under the pillow, a psychological boundary is created. It's a way to symbolically hand over a burden that feels too heavy to carry into the vulnerable state of sleep. It's a quiet, powerful act that says, "Here, this is what's on my mind. This is what's bothering me. But I don't want to carry this into sleep. I choose to set it down, just for tonight, with you." This simple ritual allows the mind to clear, the body to relax, and the spirit to find rest, knowing that the worries are being held, even if only symbolically, by these tiny, compassionate guardians of the night. Gentle transition 3. What if, in this very moment, you could embrace that ancient wisdom? What if you could allow yourself to leave just one worry with the night? Perhaps it's a lingering concern from your day, a thought that keeps circling, a task that feels unfinished. If you like, identify that one worry now. Bring it gently to the forefront of your mind, without judgment, without clinging. Just acknowledge its presence, and then, just as the children of Guatemala would whisper to their dolls, imagine yourself whispering that worry now. It doesn't have to be out loud. It can be a silent thought, a gentle release into the vastness of the night around you. Give it permission to exist, but also give it permission to leave you. Let it go, and truly, deeply, trust that it can stay gone, at least for now, at least for the night. You are not forgetting it entirely. You are simply setting it aside, knowing you can revisit it in the light of day if needed. But for this precious time of rest, you are free. Your breath in this moment is your messenger. It's the gentle conduit for release and renewal. Inhale deeply, drawing in calm, drawing in peace. Exhale slowly, letting go of that worry, letting it drift away. Rest. Allow your body to soften further, your mind to quiet, as that singular worry dissolves into the vast, protective embrace of the night. Story 4. The Sámi's night fire, flame beneath the sky. Let us now journey even further, to a land where the very concept of night stretches beyond our familiar understanding. Imagine the vast, silent expanses of the Arctic Circle. Here, for weeks, sometimes even months at a time, the sun does not rise above the horizon. The world is bathed in an endless twilight, or the deep, profound darkness of the polar night. In this extraordinary landscape live the Sámi people, indigenous to the region of Sámi, which stretches across parts of Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. In the face of this immense, unyielding darkness, the Sámi developed and carefully nurtured a special tradition, one that speaks volumes about resilience, connection, and the human need for light, both external and internal. They would build a small fire, but this fire was unlike those built for cooking or even for intense warmth, though it offered both. This fire had a deeper, more sacred purpose. It was simply to keep the soul grounded during the endless dark. These were not roaring bonfires designed to chase away every shadow. They were soul fires, small, intimate, carefully tended flames, often built within their traditional lavas, tent-like dwellings, or even out in the open, protected by a simple stone circle. A flicker of humanity, a persistent glow beneath the vast, often star-dusted or aurora-streaked skies. The soul fire was a constant companion, a quiet anchor in a world that could feel disorienting in its perpetual night. It was a focal point, a living, breathing pulse in the stillness. Around these fires, life continued in its rhythms. Fathers, with voices softened by the quiet reverence of the night, would tell stories, ancient tales of the land, of animals, of ancestors, passing down wisdom from generation to generation. The crackling of the embers would become a soothing soundtrack, a natural lullaby. Children would fall asleep beside these fires, nestled in the warmth, their dreams perhaps woven with the dancing light and the comforting murmur of voices. They grew up knowing this fire was not just heat, but a source of security, a symbol of continuity, a silent guardian against the cold and the endless dark. Even the wild reindeer, animals so central to the Sámi way of life, were drawn to these small flames. They would linger nearby, their breath misting in the cold air, their large, gentle eyes reflecting the glow. They too seemed to find a sense of calm, a shared peace, in the presence of this human light, this beating heart in the vast wilderness. In the profound silence of the snow-covered landscape, a silence that could otherwise feel isolating and overwhelming, the soul fire spoke a quiet, yet powerful message. It resonated deep within the human spirit, an affirmation against the immensity of the dark. It said, "We are here. We are whole. We are warm." It was a declaration of presence, a celebration of resilience, and a testament to the enduring human spirit's capacity to find light, even when the sun has seemingly forgotten to rise. Allow yourself to feel that quiet strength, that grounded presence, that gentle warmth from the Sámi's night fire. Relaxation 4. Close your eyes now, if you haven't already, and truly imagine that flame. It's not demanding, not roaring, not overwhelming. It simply exists. A soft, constant flicker, casting a warm, inviting glow. Observe it in your mind's eye. See its quiet persistence, its gentle dance. It doesn't strive to be more than it is, it simply is. It gives off its light, its warmth, without effort, without judgment. And in this tranquil moment, reflect on this truth. Like that flame, you too have inherent value simply by being. You don't need to strive, to achieve, to be anything more or less than exactly who you are right now. Your existence, your breath, your presence is enough. You are whole, just as you are. Now, let your body rest near that quiet glow. Imagine yourself settling into a comfortable space beside it, feeling its subtle warmth seeping into your muscles, relaxing your bones. Feel the serenity that emanates from it, radiating through your entire being. And breathe. Let your breath become as soft and steady as the flicker of that soul fire. Each inhale a gentle replenishment, each exhale a release into profound stillness. You are here, you are whole, you are warm. Story 5, The Vigil of the Monks, Japan's Mountain Temples. Our final journey takes us high into the majestic, snow-capped mountains of Japan. Here, amidst ancient forests and serene peaks, are the sacred mountain temples where monks of the Tendai and Shingon sects have practiced for centuries. These are places of deep spiritual discipline, where the pursuit of enlightenment often involves rigorous physical and mental challenges. Each winter, when the snow lay deep and the biting cold permeated the very stone of the temples, these monks would undertake a profound and challenging ritual, the night vigil. This was not an occasional practice, but a committed, unwavering discipline. They would choose to stay awake in shifts throughout the long, silent hours of the night. Imagine the deep quiet of the temple at these hours. The only sounds might be the occasional creak of ancient timbers, the soft whisper of the wind outside, or the rhythmic breath of a meditating monk. There was no external reward for this vigil, no audience to impress, no accolades to receive. It was an act of pure, selfless intention. Their purpose was singularly focused, to pray silently, profoundly, for the world's suffering to ease. Not just for their own salvation or the well-being of their community, but for the vast, interconnected tapestry of all beings. They held in their hearts the pain of humanity, the myriad forms of suffering that exist in the world. And through their sleepless vigil, through their focused intention, they sought to send waves of peace, healing, and liberation into the cosmos. Every detail of their vigil was imbued with devotion. Even the faintest candle, casting its fragile circle of light in the vast darkness of the temple hall, was watched with an almost sacred reverence. That tiny flame was a mirror of their unwavering focus, a symbol of the fragile hope they held for the world. It represented the light of wisdom, compassion, and awareness, shining steadfastly against the darkness of ignorance and pain. It was believed that by staying awake, by consciously resisting the natural pull of sleep, By maintaining a state of heightened awareness and compassionate prayer, they were actively protecting others. They were creating a spiritual shield, a blanket of benevolent energy that enveloped the sleeping world. Their wakefulness was a gift, a sacrifice of personal comfort for the greater good. And so, as the vast majority of the world slept, as villages dreamt, as cities lay quiet, as individuals found their solace in unconsciousness, someone, somewhere in those cold mountain temples, always remained present, always vigilant, always holding the suffering of the world in their hearts, radiating compassion into the silent night. Their silent, steadfast commitment was a profound act of love, a testament to the power of a single, focused intention to bring light and peace to a world in need. Allow yourself to feel that presence now, that quiet, unwavering dedication, that sense of being held, even in your sleep, by a profound, ancient intention of peace, emotional closing. You may never light a Samhain flame from a communal bonfire. You may never tend a small soul fire in the endless snows of the Arctic. And you may never keep a silent, meditative vigil through the night in a Japanese mountain temple. But hear this truth. These ancient rituals, these profound acts of human connection and protection, they live on, they live within you. Not as historical artifacts, but as echoes of innate wisdom, as blueprints for inner strength. They live in every single moment you choose rest over reaction. When you consciously step back from the immediate surge of an emotion and instead choose the calming breath. They live in every instance you choose care over chaos. When you prioritize self-compassion, when you nurture your own inner sanctuary, even amidst external turmoil. And most powerfully, they live in every moment you choose calm over fear. When you meet the unknowns of life and the quiet anxieties of the night, not with panic, but with a settled, deep-seated peace. Tonight, as you lie here, allow the wisdom of the past to hold you gently. Let these ancient night traditions, once enacted to literally protect the soul from the perceived dangers of the dark, now protect yours. Let their essence permeate your being, wrapping you in a blanket of timeless serenity. You have done enough today. You have held enough. You have carried enough. Now, it is time to let go, truly and completely. Release the day, release the thoughts, release the holding. Let sleep come to you now like a gentle, welcome guest. Allow it to carry you effortlessly into its soft embrace. Body scan and fade out. Let's begin this final journey into profound rest at the very crown of your head. Bring your attention gently there, feeling the lightest sensation, perhaps a soft tingling or warmth. Now slowly allow your awareness to drift down like a gentle wave to your forehead. Notice any subtle tension held there, perhaps between your eyebrows or across your brow, and simply invite it to soften, to smooth away. Release any tension behind your eyes, letting them rest deeply in their sockets, feeling heavy and calm. Allow that sensation of release to move down your face. Let your cheeks relax and soften your jaw. Notice if you're clenching your teeth, and gently, with kindness, allow your upper and lower teeth to separate slightly, letting your jaw feel completely slack, at ease. Notice your neck and shoulders. These areas often carry so much of our daily burdens. Feel into any tightness, any stiffness. And now, gently, with each exhale, give them permission to let go. There's no need to hold anything now. Let them melt like ice, softening in the sun, releasing down, down, down. Continue down your arms, feeling a wave of relaxation move from your shoulders, through your upper arms, down to your elbows. Feel it spreading to your forearms, your wrists, your hands, and finally out through your fingertips. Your arms are heavy, relaxed, completely at rest. Bring your attention now to your chest. Feel its gentle rise and fall with each quiet breath, like the flicker of a lamp in the window on All Souls' Night. Steady, quiet, a reassuring rhythm. Allow your chest to feel open, soft, and unburdened. Move your awareness down to your belly. Feel the soft expansion with each inhale, the gentle release with each exhale. There's no need to hold or tighten here. Just let your belly be soft, relaxed, breathing with effortless ease. Continue down to your hips, feeling them settle deeply, perhaps sinking into the surface beneath you. Feel that profound sense of being supported. Your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, let them all grow heavy, soft, completely at ease, all the way down to your feet. Feel the weight of your feet resting, each toe, each arch, feeling completely relaxed. Your entire body is now safe. From the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, it is deeply, profoundly at rest. Your story is safe. The day's narratives, the worries, the tasks, they are set aside, held gently by the night. And now, just breathe. Let your breath become softer, deeper, a gentle wave carrying you further into slumber. Allow the sounds around you to fade. Allow your thoughts to fade. Allow your awareness to fade. Just peace.